But you know, and it was always amazing because, of course, she'd been in show business, and she was, if you could see her makeup table, she had all this makeup like you just wouldn't believe. And the thing that always used to throw me, and I'd think, oh my God, because she always had a big towel, and she'd take the makeup off with this towel, and it just looked like hell. But she has used that towel over and over to take her old makeup. You know, she put cold cream on her face and then wiped the cold cream off with this towel. When she got up from that table, she looked like $1 million.
Was she in burlesque?
No.
Okay.
No.
I had heard that she was in burlesque.
No. Not that I know of. I don't think so. But she was married to Frank Berry. That's other than the few times she came up to the ranch when we were in Valley Springs. I remember her mainly when she was living in the city and she was married to Frank Berry, and she would have Marge and me down to the city. She had us come down a couple of times and kept us there with her for a couple of weeks, and boy, was that a revelation. You come from a small town and watch her and Frank Berry going through their thing, and Marge and I just sit there going,
Now tell me, what was the whole thing about her son?
Well, he was, all I know about Neil, of course I think they lived pretty close to Mom and Dad in Stockton. Neil was 6 months older than I was, and this was supposedly, from the story I always heard, it was his first day of school. He was 6 years old. It was first day of school, and the school was close to where she lived, and so she had taught him how to walk home from school. So he's coming home from school and started across the street, and she's watching out the window for him to come home, and this dump truck comes around the corner and runs right over him. And she just went berserk. And I think that was on her. That was the main thing that was behind her
Alcoholism,
yeah.
She never was able to forgive herself for her son dying.
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
So she was really a character. And she and Gene, there was a hate-love relationship their whole lives, because Gene would try something and she couldn't muster it, and Mel would come along and either take the husband, the boyfriend, away from her, or do the job that she was supposed to do, only do it 10 times better. So they had this thing going their whole life, and yet they couldn't really give each other up completely, because they wouldn't see each other for a long time, and then all of a sudden here they were back together again, and everything was lovey-dovey. But I was too young. They were grown women. I was still just a little kid. So I didn't know a lot of what was going on, and Mom didn't talk about it all that much. Or maybe she did, if she would have, if I had talked to her later in years about it. But
it wasn't really a time that you shared those kind of things.
No, and I don't know. I think that your mom and probably Marge, both of them were more inquisitive about what went on than I was when I was in my younger teens. I never was too inquisitive to try to find out what went on between people.